Thank you. So, can someone remind us of what we have been talking about yesterday morning? No one?
Please, I did not hear you.
I'm saying that someone should remind us of what we discussed yesterday morning.
Okay, so I joined a bit late, but when I joined, we were discussing organizational
We
culture
can't
and
hear you. I can't hear you. Can you be a little bit loud?
hello sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can everybody
Okay.
unmute themselves so that we can have everybody answer whether they can hear the class?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, sir, I can hear her.
Okay, everybody should unmute. Let's be sure that everybody is with us. Some people have the habit to set up, be admitted in the class, and then go out and be doing other things. Sally, we've not heard from you. Is it your first class? Sally, Sally, please,
Yes,
can
sir,
you
it's my
unmute yourself?
good evening, sir. This is Lonsi, is my first class.
It's your first class.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who else is in class who has not spoken? Simon, have you spoken?
Yes, sir, I have.
A5. A5, are you there? Or you are waiting for question time?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
No, I'm doing great, sir. I'm waiting for question time.
You are waiting for question time. Okay. Okay. All right. So we started with Ruth. Ruth, can you tell us what
Anyway,
you
sir.
Mhm.
Last, sir. I think we talked about how we assess organization culture. I
Okay.
think what I retain more, we talk about qualitative interviews. We talk about
Mm-hmm.
surveys. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about key indicators, norms. That's communication patterns
Mm-hmm.
and recommend mixed methods because most companies will not use one, they'll use the different or merge different methods in order to
Mm-hmm.
have results.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mostly retain at the last class. I'm just
Okay.
connecting now, so I'm a little bit lost.
No, we have not said anything. We are starting with reviewing of what we said last class.
All
So
right, and my name is
you have not
Maureen.
missed it. Maureen.
I'm
Maureen.
struggling to
Please,
change
can
the
you?
name, but it's not going.
It's not going. I'll always forget that name. So if I call you 85, just say Maureen.
No, no problem. I will just react. There's no problem, sir. I think we are here to learn, and it's part of the
Yeah,
learning. Thank
it's
you.
okay. At least I know your face. So I cannot miss you even on the road.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
All right, Maureen. I hope I will not forget again. Okay, thank you. Maureen, thank you very much for your interventions. We want to hear from Telma.
All right, so just to add to what Maureen said, we looked at the approaches that we can use to change organizational culture. And
Mhm.
one thing we saw was the fact that when we implement a cultural change, there's a need for testing to see that there is progress. And in this testing, the leader has a role which is modeling the change. Yes, and that's what I can remember for now.
It looks like everybody chose what is happening to their own setting. And then they just took what is happening in their setting, and then they say that is what they can retain. Tomorrow they will transfer you somewhere else, or you look for another another job, and they will find different problems, and they will come back and consult. I'll be there. All right. Sally is new. Maureen has spoken. Telma has spoken. Ayuk, Ayuk, our man.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, just like the other said, we're pointing out assessment methods and assessment tools. Spoke about the OACI method of or instrument, which is very, very useful in most organizations and can help their human resource personnel to be able to number one, assess um, the behaviors of those who are working within the company, as well as also by identifying some of the cultural gaps which may exist after identifying them and therefore coming up with plausible solutions to help solve those um, issues which are happening within the organization. That's what I can remember also yesterday. Thank you.
Okay. Apart from Maureen, nobody is loud enough for my liking. I really struggle to hear you. It is only Maureen who has spoken with the teacher's voice. So please, if you want to intervene, please be a little bit loud so that we can hear you. Simon, it is your turn.
Mhm. Okay, so we talked about organizational culture and strategy, how to align both of them for the betterment of the company. For example, and it is the role of the HR department to make sure that the company's culture aligns with the company's strategies. For example, if the company has a culture of innovation, if they want to align that culture with strategy, they're supposed to make sure that the people they're employing should love to take risk and also be perseverant because being innovative cannot always go the good way. So you employ people who can take risk so that so that their strategy can align with the culture.
Okay. Longsy, you are hiding. You thought I will not call you?
So I'm the one that just spoke that was new. That was my first class. It was not Sally. I'm the one who spoke.
Mm. Okay, I thought that is Sally. Sally, Sally, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening. Tell us something.
So this is my first class.
Wonderful. Okay, so the last class we started with aligning culture with strategy. That was our first subtopic, and we said aligning culture with strategy is crucial for organizational success. And we delve into how we can align um, strategy with culture, or we said why alignment. or why does alignment matter? And we said this is because it drives execution, enhances engagement, fosters consistency. We went on to say steps to align culture with strategy. About 6 steps. We said the first step was define strategic goals, assess current culture, identify cultural gaps, and develop cultural enablers, and then embed changes and monitor and also adjust. We had some key considerations, which we said leadership role. We said leaders must model the desired culture. We also said communication is very important, where we said clearly communicate the strategy and cultural expectations. Talent management, ensure people fit the desired culture. Process and processes and the system. We said we should align HR processes to IT and also other systems with culture and strategy. The benefits, of course, this will improve performance, increase engagement, and better decision making. So after that, we took another subtopic that talked about changing organizational culture, approach, and tools. The approaches: leadership alignment, communication and engagement, training and development, process changes, and measurements and feedback. Of course, the tools, we talked about change management frameworks. We discussed much about Kotter's 8 steps change model and Lewin's change model. We also talked about cultural assessment tools, which are OKA decision making or decision organizational culture survey. We also talked about communication platforms and training programs. Performance management was not left out. We went on to look at some popular models that may help us. We talked about Kotter's model, which we elaborated. And then we gave an assignment that people should move to their books and read about ADKAR model and Lewin's change model. So I want to see those who did that assignment. Who bothered to look at ADKAR's model?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. Who is answering?
Simon.
Simon, okay. Who else?
Yeah.
Wait, before you talk, who else bothered? Nobody. So Simon, help us.
The ADKAR model focuses on individual change. It's
I've pleaded that we should be loud a bit.
the ADKAR model focuses on individual change. Like individual workers in a company must first of all change their mindset for change to happen in the company at large. So the ADKAR stands for awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. So for awareness, employees must understand why change is necessary in a company. And so how can the HR do that? The HR can maybe tell them the reason why change is needed. And we'll go to the next part, desire. the employee must maybe desire for change. It's not something that you force. You have to make sure that they desire change. And also, it's the role of the HR to do that by maybe trying to motivate the employees, tell them that nothing is going to go wrong, change is necessary so that they also desire change. Like, don't force change on them, let them desire it. The next part, knowledge. Employees must know like how to change or why change is needed. So you can provide them with training, tell them how to transition from one culture to another culture. And the last one is ability. So employees must be able to apply what they have learned, because through the training, you give them knowledge, you give them training, and they should also have the ability to apply the training they learned, so that and how can you do that? You provide practice, supervision, so that you can follow them up and they can adapt to change. And the last one, reinforcement. So after the change has happened, the change needs to be maintained. So how can you do that? How can you make sure that they stay in line? You can give them rewards for good deeds. Maybe ask for feedback and just celebrate little wins. So that's all I got to say.
Excellent. Can we clap for this young man? I can't hear you clap.
I'm clapping, sir. I'm clapping.
Well
I'm clapping. I'm
done.
clapping.
Okay.
Well done.
Good.
I'm clapping.
So,
The clap is loud.
so Simon did well. Unfortunately, no other person did that. So Simon has +5.
Oh my God, thank you, sir.
Pardon?
Thank you very much, sir.
I did
So
though, just that my
Simon
network
has
is a bit shaky this evening.
+5 just like that.
I'm signing in and going out.
Who else did bother to see Lewin's change model?
I did,
I
sir.
did oh, I did for
Anyway,
both models.
so can we have Maureen first?
Yes, sir. I tried to check about the Lewis model of communication. And he talks mostly about cultural communication styles. That's he's talking about task-oriented, logical, organized, plans step by steps, and multi-active, and that's what I grasped about it. The Lewis methods. But what I learned is that it's mostly used in cross-cultural communication and focuses on communication styles. That it is linear active and multi-active reactive.
Okay. Yes, I heard another lady.
Yes,
It's
sir.
Thelma.
Elma. Yes, sir.
Okay, Thelma, tell us.
All right. So I looked at Lewis change models and I noticed that he grouped them into three headings,
I did not
which
get you clearly, please. I'm
so
straining to get people.
sorry, my network is really bad this evening. That's why I'm not really consistent. I'm saying that I looked at the Lewis change model and
Mhm.
I realized that he grouped them into three subheadings, which were
Okay,
to unfreeze, change, and
correct.
refreeze.
Mhm.
Yes. And for unfreeze, he was explaining that it is recognizing the need for change. And doing this, they have to determine what needs to be changed of old behaviors and attitudes. And then he said that we should ensure that there is strong support from management. Yes, that the management should give their strong support in order for this change for the need to be identified, and then manage and understand the doubts and concerns. Yes, so for that was what I got from on free, and then for change, it was like the change should be planned, yes, and then the change should be implemented, and they should help employees to learn new concepts or points of views. Yes, and then for referees, he was explaining that change are supposed to be reinforced and stabilized. This is the process where the management put in methods in order to reinforce and stabilize this change, which he was saying that there's a need to for feedback and there's a need to for motivation or something more like um giving maybe a sorry, the word is going off my mind. But reward, yes, that's the word, rewarding for good behavior and maybe those who have agreed or accepted in order to motivate so that the change can be stabilized. Thank you. That's what I read.
Excellent. Very good. Can we also clap for this young lady? I'm not seeing
Clap is loud, sir. It's loud. The clap is loud.
the clap is loud. So, by virtue of the fact that Maureen attempted, Maureen has plus 1.5.
Wonderful. Only, sir.
Yes, because you attempted.
Only.
Unfortunately. And then Telma has
Only.
plus 4. So we have
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
the first person was who again?
The Simon.
Is Simon. Please remind me. Simon had what?
5.
5.
5.
Can somebody
Not
bring me a
5.
pen, please? Somebody should bring me a pen. Oh, please, pen.
No, you have the pen
Shall we
already
give the
there,
pen
sir.
from here?
No, I want to jot down. You know, when you are getting old like that, you may forget. You may forget.
I'll remind you, sir.
Oh, I have my reminder here already.
They can't forget to
People should not fool me. People can fool me. So we say we begin with Simon. Simon Baswa. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Baswa has 5 plus 5. You have for Telma.
Yes, sir.
For Telma is surely from Cambe or from
Yes,
Du?
sir, from Cambe. From Du, yes, from Du, sir. Du from Cambe.
Yes, I know. So she has plus 4.
Thank
And
you, sir.
my very good friend Maureen.
Yes, 2.5.
Maureen has, let me just give her round up that 0.5 to 2.
Right.
Okay, so she has plus 2. You see how marks have been distributed because some people made effort. For all those who did not make effort, okay, you have yourself to blame. Now let's just do a little bit explanation on Lewin's model because for Aka's model, it was very clear. That young man did a very wonderful job. So he can drop his work in our private chat group. I'm talking about the HR group, so that others can follow.
Okay.
And of course, Telma's work too should be dropped there. So what is unfreezing? Unfreezing means that you are preparing the organization for change by addressing resistance and building motivation. Unfreezing is like something is freezed, something is tight, so you are losing it. So, and it is tight because each time there is change, like we said yesterday, there is always resistance. We explained yesterday that older people in the organization will always say things like this. Wait till now show we again. So such people are usually very adamant to change. And when you are introducing change, you must make sure that you prepare the organization for the change by addressing these areas of resistance. It means that even at the level of resistance, you must do a little survey to find where these people are resisting so that you can touch them at that particular point of need. You can get the target appropriately. So it is very, very important. So Lewin dwell much on that. He looked at unfreezing. He also talked about changing. Here he had, like Thelma said, he built his model on 3 major drivers, which were unfreezing, changing, and also refreezing. So changing, here now you are implementing the change.
Sir, please come again. Please come again, sir. Please come again.
We are saying that Lewins hung his model on 3 major drivers, which are unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. So you unfreeze, you change, and then you refreeze. It means that when you unfreeze, you look at the resistance, you change if you are very positive about the change. For example, when you are satisfied about the change, and then you try to resist so that the people will not go, to refreeze, so that the people will not go out of this new dynamic. And that's why we said yesterday that you need feedback, and what you have had in hand, which is positive, you hold on it tightly before you move further to a new step. We talked about that yesterday. So Kurt Lewins dwelled on those 3 drivers. Again, I said they are unfreezing, changing, and then you refreeze. And we said unfreezing is to prepare the organization for change by addressing resistance and building motivation. When you address this resistance, you build the people's motivation, so you motivate them for the change. And then you implement the change. When you implement the change, you support the employees through the transition. So each time you are implementing change, you look at the employees, meaning that at one step to another, you must do an evaluation. So you support them for the change, and then, of course, you refreeze. This refreezing is reinforcing and stabilizing the new behavior, making it a norm. That is refreezing. So you unfreeze where there is resistance, then you implement the change, and then you tighten back. Are we together?
So meaning that this Lewis approach mostly targets managers, right? Because they're the one implementing the decisions.
It mostly targets manager, because the manager is a driver, but mind you, you are working, of course, with the employee. That's why you are unfreezing them. You make them appropriate the change, so they own the change. That's why you are supporting them.
That's why I'm asking, sir, because at this level, I don't want to place. I'm sorry to intervene, to disrupt. But now at this level, I don't want to bring in the human resource. I'm looking at this Lewis approach is making me look at directly at the managers, because the managers are the ones to refreeze.
It is the manager that implement the change. It is the manager that unfreezes. It is the manager that unfreezes. But you are unfreezing who?
The workers.
Yes. So it involves the workers too.
Okay.
Of course, it involves the workers. You are unfreezing. Okay, manager, okay, unfreeze. Unfreeze yourself.
No, they are unfreezing the workers.
So if you are unfreezing the workers and they are adults, you can't come, and if it is something, it's just like for you to say a hammer to crack a stone. For example, we human beings are not stones. So if you are unfreezing the human being, you do what? You need to involve the person. That's why his second step said, changing, you implement the change and support the employees. It means that they are stakeholders of the change or of the model. But of course, it is the manager that unfreezes. They are unfreezing employees and you are supporting them, so they are concerned. So it is not only the manager's responsibility, it is also a responsibility of the employee, because they are the ones to change. If they refuse to change, then of course you have not won. And then now you refreeze. The manager goes back to refreeze, but you are refreezing who? You are also refreezing the employee. What is refreezing? Refreezing is reinforcing this and stabilizing the change so that it becomes what? A norm. Is there any other question? Nyango Maureen. Ma Maureen. Are you there? Is she out of the class?
It could be network, because network is really bad this evening.
Now that I know her name, she is lost. Okay. Mr. Ayub.
No, I'm in the class, sir. I'm sorry. I'm in the class, sir.
All right.
I'm in the class, sir.
I know
because
that
when I was no, because when you when
our class to do your consultation. Seriously.
Well, sir, no, sir, that's not it, sir. That's not it. I'm trying to
understand everything,
get the knowledge and adapt in my
Yes.
environment where I find myself right now. But
If
when
tell
you
that
talk
I'm
about
not-
the Lewis, and when I read through, it's talking
if I
about
tell you that I'm
directly
not-
management.
Mhm.
It's talking about management and the workers directly, how to implement change at the level of the workers. And you cannot implement change without talking with the workers, without having an exchange with them and implementing what is right. Because you need a dialogue at one point in time to be able to understand what is going right and what is going wrong.
You were really out of the class when I was doing the intervention.
Are you sure, sir? All right,
Yes,
sorry.
because you are saying the same thing that I was saying, that you cannot be implementing on stones. You are implementing on human beings. So they are major stakeholders. If you are implementing on them, it means that you have to communicate to them. That's why his second point hung on changing. And we said that if you are implementing the change, you have to support the employees for the transition.
All right,
How
thank
do
you,
you
sir.
support them?
Yes.
So please, what if
Yes.
the change has been implemented? Like, okay, if you have gone so far, you have used so much resources, but it's not working. Should you stop there, or you should keep trying so that it works? Because I'm just trying to
You
relate to the
evaluate
process.
and go back to unfreezing. Did you really unfreeze? Remember that his model talks about unfreezing resistance to breaking resistance. So if, for example, let's take a practical example. People are coming late to work. That's the most common example we have been using. And that is what we want to unfreeze. And they've been very resistant to change. They don't want to come to work early. And you are discussing with them. And you find that to an extent, it looks like they are accepting the change and they have given you all the confidence that they will come, all their words that they will come to work early. And probably they started coming to work early. While implementing the change, you find that that behavior has not actually gone. So what do? It means that the process of unfreezing had an issue. You may go back there. Meaning that the resistance was not completely killed. So you go back to, of course, unfreezing. And while unfreezing, this this resistance, make sure that you are building motivation. You motivate the employee for the change. And that's why I said, if you go there with a hammer, then you are, of course, looking at them like stones. If you consider them to be human beings, then there must be a human approach which needs a lot of motivation. Now, of course, Lewis was not the only person who talked about model. So it depends on if you are taking Lewis' model to implement your change.
Please,
you evaluate and go back.
Okay.
To unfreezing. It means that your unfreezing had a problem. And
Please,
even while implementing the change, that's why he hung his change model into 3 major drivers. Each of the drivers or each of the points, when you unfreeze, for example, and you have successfully unfreezed, when you come to changing, while implementing the change, the employees still show some kind of resistance to the change or to the transition. Of course, change is not easy. You still have to go back to unfreezing those aspects which have not been clearly unfreezed before you freeze. Because if you go and refreeze the wrong thing, for example, you'll be making the wrong thing the norm. Because remember that when you are refreezing something to become a norm. So you don't refreeze where you are not sure of the results you got in the implementation. Yes. Question again, Maureen.
No, sir, I'm following up. I don't have a question for now.
Good. Who else? Thelma.
So
Peg, you
Mr. Simon was about to speak.
Mr. Simon, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear on something. So the Lewis model focuses on the stages of change, while the Adgar model focuses on the people and their mindsets.
Now, each person had their model. Everybody has an approach to something. Like you said, it may focus on people and their mindset, but Lewis' model also focused on the issues that have to do with resistance, especially. While Arcas was focusing on mindset and how to treat the mindset and communication and how to adapt the persons involved into the change, Lewis focused on how to crack resistance. So according to him, if you cracked the resistance, if you were able to break the resistance, then you can come back to do what? To effect the change. Because what is happening that is hindering change is the resistance. So when you are able to downplay the resistance, then you can now effect change. And he says, when you effect the change, don't allow it like that. Don't go and sleep. Try to tighten those aspects that you have changed so that they will not go back to what? A kind of resistance where they were before.
And so how do you tighten those aspects? Let's take, for example, people were coming late to work. That's resistance. And at one point in time, they didn't see why they should come early to work. And you tried implementing new measures. How do you tighten resistance in the company?
2 major ways.
I'm talking about the Lewis method.
Yes, the first way, 2 major ways. The first way that you can do that is by what? Motivation. That is addressed in his first driver, which is unfreezing. During the unfreezing, you can motivate and you can continue motivation. This can be rewarding. It can also be intrinsic motivation. We are talking about motivation. We'll talk about motivation from the next class, I'm sure. And somebody is going to do that as an assignment. I'm going to drop that. One person's presentation will be on motivation in the next class. So when the person is talking about motivation, I'm sure I'll give motivation to you, Maureen. So you will talk about motivation. So take down that as your assignment.
Okay, sir.
So you continue motivation, and that can be, like I said, you can have rewards. For example, people who come late, who come very early to work, have a kind of reward. So you find people struggling to run so that they can come, they can have the reward. For example, this evening we have just done something. People who did some presentations, they have already had some pluses in their grading, and this may spur other people to do presentation in the next class. Just imagine you had 5 marks. Plus 5 marks is not small. That's much. So that is motivation. The next is you introduce discipline. For example, people who come late to work may lose some amount in their salaries, for example. They may be punished. When it is cumulative, they may be suspended. So you may introduce punitive measures. And when you do that to 1 or 2 persons, especially if it goes to a level where somebody loses their job, everybody may align. So those are 2 major ways you can do the refreezing or monitor the refreezing. There are several other ways.
This Lewin's model, please, I'm trying to understand it perfectly. So it means that as long as a company is up and running, there's always maybe you can do a perfect unfreezing, change, and refreezing, but in the long term, maybe in 10, 15 years, people still fall back to their old bad culture. So it means that there's always a need for the Lewin's model.
Of course, there's always whichever model you are using. And that's why most of the time, the human resource manager is supposed to be doing an evaluation all the time, especially when it has to do with culture. Now, there are other aspects of human resource management that we are going to see in our class, because now we are only talking about culture, but there are other aspects which you still ask the same questions. We have talked extensively on evaluation, monitoring, feedback. There is nothing you do as a human resource manager without evaluating that process and having feedback whether the process is good. That is why, and some companies have a competitive advantage over the others because their human resource efforts are better. Now, what won't you evaluate? Is it salaries? You need to know the current trend. If, for example, let's take an industry. Let's use one industry. Can you name one industry? Let's use it as an example.
Let's take CDC.
Is CDC an industry?
Oh, sorry. Let's take
music industry.
Okay.
Music industry. Are you a musician?
Yes, sir.
Let's take the cotton industry.
Is the cotton an industry?
No, sir, it's a textile industry.
No.
Textile.
Please go back and see what is an industry. Somebody should do that now.
All right. Can we take the media?
Oh, sir, entertainment industry.
Somebody should do that now and tell us what that industry is. Very quick.
I'm doing it, sir.
The manufacturing.
Is that what an industry is?
No, so I'm giving the different classifications.
What is an industry? Everybody in the class will have -8.
No, sir. We are talking. An industry is a group of businesses or organizations that produce similar products or provide similar services.
Okay. So you find that your answer of CDC is very wrong.
No, it's wrong.
What about entertainment industry? Is it wrong?
What?
Entertainment industry.
Entertainment industry, eh?
It's not an industry.
Is an industry, eh? I've
Can we
asked that
take?
what is an industry? You're asking me entertainment industry. Who was speaking? Who asked on entertainment industry?
So I'm asking if entertainment industry is like
Who
a
asked the question?
Simon,
When
sir.
somebody is defining Simon.
Yes, sir.
Simon that had +5, so -2. Where is the pen?
Sir, can we talk about automobile industry, at least companies that produce cars?
Yes. Automobile is an industry.
We are fashion,
Okay.
sir.
Can we talk about?
So, we have said that what's an industry? Okay. So we were using an industry as an example. So what are we talking about? So this guy has -2 before everybody has -10. Let us define an industry again. Who did the definition? So Baswa now has +3.
An industry is a group of businesses or organizations that produce similar products or provide similar services.
Yes. So can you give an example?
I talk about automobile industry.
Let's use the examples that we started with first. Take CDC, for example. CDC operates under which industry? What? Who is talking? I'm not hearing. What?
Peggy talking, sir.
I'm not getting you clearly.
Maybe my network is not good.
We are getting you now, so say it again.
I said CDC will fall under the production sector.
Production sector. Who was talking?
Peggy.
Peggy has -1.
Says they're into production, sir.
Okay. Who else? So you have -1.
Hello.
Yes.
CDC can fall under primary industries.
Primary industry. Who was talking?
It's Ruth.
Ruth, you have -1. Who else?
So it falls under the agro-industrial industry.
Agro-industry. Who is talking?
Ayuk minus.
Ayuk, you have +1.
Thank you, sir.
Sir. Let me try again. Extractive industry.
Who said so?
Ruth.
Ruth, you have -1, so you now have -2. So somebody has already answered the question and you are spoiling it. So you even have -2 plus the -1 that you had. You have now -3.
I don't miss it.
So Ayuk said CDC falls under the agriculture or agro or agricultural industry.
Oh my God, I almost said agriculture.
There's industry production.
No. Who is still talking? Peggy.
So I want to verify. It's good to know, sir.
But they have already answered you that it's agriculture. You are insisting that it's production. How? How can you say that production industry? Where did you find that? Even in normal English language or pidgin.
I'm looking at the activities, sir. They're into
the activities is agriculture.
To produce palm palm
To
oil
produce
and other.
agricultural products. They
That
are
makes it the
producing what?
production.
Agricultural products. So they are
So
into
reason
the
for the
agro
production.
industry.
Okay.
People are making me angry this night. I feel as
No,
ending
sir. Don't be angry, sir. Let's move.
So
Okay.
I learn it.
All right. So CDC falls under what?
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Cotton spore falls under what? Cotton
Agriculture.
industry in Garwa.
You will still be agriculture, say.
Correct.
Agriculture.
So name the rest.
So the cotton.
So the cotton.
Evecam.
Good.
Toilet.
So they fall under
The agro.
agro what?
Agro industry.
Why?
Because they deal with agricultural products.
Wonderful. Who said so? Somebody defined what an industry is. So when I said why are these companies under what?
Okay.
The same industry? I was expecting the person
They
to
deal with similar products.
As simple as that.
Say, Telka Cocoa fall under which industry?
Answer.
Agriculture.
No,
They are not the
I think it will fall under manufacturing industry, sir.
They are manufacturing what?
Delta Cocoa, they are into transformation.
Is it not cocoa? Is it not cocoa?
People may fall under two different industries. So you cannot wipe off agro industry from Teka Cocoa.
So they only buy the cocoa, they are not there, they don't plant it.
They only buy the cocoa, eh?
They don't have farms.
So they don't promote the people who have the farms.
So it's for better understanding.
No, I'm asking now. You should answer me now. Me too, I want to understand.
They promote the people because they want high quality.
So if they promote the people who are doing the farming, it means that they are what? They are stakeholders also.
Yes, sir, they are stakeholders.
So they are involved in the industry now.
Okay. All right, sir.
When I give me fever, I didn't like to true.
No, sir, to know the details so that one can better. To know the details, sir. It's to know the details, sir. It's important so that don't go and disgrace ourselves outside. We should be talking sense.
Thank God. Thank God. You are disgracing yourself to me. Thank you very much. So, what were we saying before we landed here with industries? I wanted us to use an example of an industry. Who asked the question? We're still talking about Lewin's model.
I think it was Simon.
So Simon, bring that question back. Simon is disappointed because he has lost 2 marks.
So I'll get it back. I'm not disappointed. So I'll get it back. I'll get it back, sir. I'm not disappointed.
Okay.
So say I asked that since if company are always up and running, in the long run, let me say in 10 years, I believe there's always going to be need for the Lewin's model, because even though you can successfully unfreeze and change and refreeze, people can fall back to bad habits, bad culture. So I believe from my understanding, we are always going to need a Lewin's model in organization. It's not something you do once and you are done with it. You always.
And I was explaining before we came to this that I discovered that we had gaps. So I have to do my own evaluation so that we see where we can solve these gaps. And I was saying that there is nothing that you do as HR without evaluating after a certain period. Whether you are doing recruitment, you need to evaluate your systems. Now, let me give you an example. I read accounting in 2004 to 2007. That was my first degree in accounting. Then we had just had computers in Cameroon. We still had so many organizations which were not using computers. In 2004, for example. You remember that? Who was in secondary school by then? Who was born by then? 2004.
Well, I was born by then.
I was
still
there up and
scripting.
running.
Pardon?
I was up and
I was still
running.
scripting.
You were up and running and even cooking.
Yes.
Good. So you find that in 2004, so many organizations used manual method in accounting. In fact, in my class, there was never a time that we did a software in accounting. But today's classes, when you do accounting today, in most of the school, they will teach you at least SARS as a software, which of course many microfinances used. Now, we migrated from manual when computers came to Excel. The payroll was done by what? Access. For those who did early computing in those days. In fact, during the time that I was doing that degree in accounting, I was also doing computer. They used to call it computer something in these computer homes, for example. And I learned Excel. I also learned Access. And they told us in that small computer place that I used to learn computer there, they used to tell us that Access was used for payroll in many organizations. Even CDC, for example, when they introduced computer, they used to use Access. Now, after 10, 15 years, we started having sophisticated softwares. Now, when sometime in 2019, I was introduced to a software they call TomPro. How many people are accountants here?
I am.
Have you ever heard about the software they call TomPro?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So which software do you use?
So we use either QuickBooks or
Which?
Alpha.
Okay, go and ask some questions about TomPro. So many organizations, especially these projects, use TomPro. In terms of softwares, accounting softwares, TomPro is something else. So like I said, that was introduced in 2019 in our service. And I attended a training in Kribi to train on TomPro. We finished that training and I started using the software. When we used the software, it was very local. You used to use a key like a flash. So everybody who bought that software for their organization must use that key to operate the software. After a lot of reviews, it became so glaring that the key thing was obsolete because the headquarters could not have the deliverables from the base on time and to see what those who were in the peripheries were doing at time T. So the software developers developed the web, which means that if I'm doing entries here where I am, you who has the master server can be seeing what I'm doing here, whether in Europe or whatever. I was privileged to be trained by the software developer himself, a Malagasyan, a French Malagasyan, who came to Cameroon. In fact, he developed the software very many years ago. And the software, he has evolved in the software, writing the software. In fact, it is a top-notch software. Every accountant should try to learn that software, and you can work in any project without any issue. So you find that over time, people evaluate to evolve. Just like we said, change evolves. So how do you know an evolution when you have not done a survey to evaluate whether what you are doing is obsolete or can meet the contemporary? If, for example, using manual system was a norm, it is obsolete now. The culture was using a manual system. Now, because of computers, we need to upgrade. And of course, when we are upgrading, be sure that there must be what? Resistance. Now, let me give you an example. If you went to these old offices, especially in these very old corporations like CDC, those who were accountants, and because they were using the manual method and had money, they didn't want to train young people to come and take over them. So imagine that a young man went and learned computer and you are coming and became a manager. And you are managing an old person who has been using his manual method since. And you came and told him that because of computer, because we need to go modern, we have to change to computers. We have to computerize our systems. Of course, there must be resistance. I'll give you another example. I work with the Ministry of Public Health and I work with a project. We used to do our payments for our actors, especially when they do vaccination manually. We will do it manually. And sometimes what we call DMOs, that is district medical officers, or now they are called CHDs, that is chief of health districts. They come to the delegation where I worked and collected physical cash, sometimes chunks of millions, to go back to their districts. When they go back to their districts, sometimes some people ended in Moliko, for example, and didn't go to the districts and produce results. They will come, they have signed signatures and so forth and so on. And so you find that it is, of course, they have done work, they will give you all the reports, it's everything clean. And then when we evaluated the systems and found that children were not being vaccinated because the funds which were allocated for actors to vaccinate these children weren't going to the actors, we said, okay, we should introduce mobile money payment. Now, we will not give money to the CHDs. We will put this money into a platform. The CHDs will send to us the kind of resistance we had. We had resistance. So we had seminars to introduce this new model to them. And even when we introduced this model to them, they used to say that when what? When the birds keep flying without doing what? Perching, the hunters do what? Everybody has run away from the class.
They learn to shoot without missing.
They learn to shoot without. Who said so?
Tell me, Simon.
Simon, you gain 1 plus 1. You have gone back to plus 4.
Thank you, sir.
So what does that mean? It means that each time you implement a change and you feel that it is going, especially for people who are adamant to the change, they come back to their old ways. So what they did was, the CHDs, for example, started bringing in their families and put their phone numbers. So sometimes you will pay, and there is what, when you print the payment receipt, which we call a batch, you will find that somebody's names appear like 4 times. How do they do this? Sometimes they will go to MTN to create 4 different Momo numbers in their names. Then MTN 2 was not as strict as now, where you have to use an ID card to register the Momo. So you pay somebody, and then you find that they were different numbers. But when you pay, you find that it is one name, for example. I have 2 MTN SIMs, and all of them have Momos. So in that case, you will find that it is Mokase that you have paid. So we evaluated and found that we learned to do what? To fly, because we have introduced what? A new mobile payment system, which was mobile money system. And we thought that we have solved the issue. But they looked for a way to come around. I said, okay, you people thought that, okay, when we do mobile, we will not have our thing again. So they looked for a way to do that. We evaluated. Now we have a new software which was developed by Senegalese. That is called ComCare. With ComCare, what happens with ComCare is that every actor is registered into ComCare. When you register your actor into ComCare, MTN sends you what they call a KYC. When they send that KYC, meaning that I cannot play 2 roles. For example, if I'm vaccinator, I can also not be recorder, for example. So I can only play 1 role. So ComCare enables us to do what? To know the persons who have been registered into the system, and MTN develops us a KYC to identify these persons who have been registered. So everybody has 1 role. Do you know what? Even with this, we have discovered that there are still loopholes. So you get better, and at one point in time, people still go back to their ways again. So you continue evaluating and changing system to make it better and to tighten things. And each time you make a change and the change has been effected, you make sure that you do what? You tighten. You do what we call what? What did we call it?
Freezing.
Refreeze.
When we refreeze, and after a certain point in time, we come and evaluate, we go and do what again?
Unfreeze.
Unfreeze and implement the new change and do what again? And refreeze again. So that is why the human resource manager is very pivotal in organizations, because in your office, your work is always doing research to make employees motivated for better performance, whether it is recruitment, whether it is motivation, whether it is training and development, because you need to look at your employees. For example, I've just talked about a change of our system, and I was trained, and after the training I was retrained because the system changed. from the manual kind of system, which was a key to my computer, and I open to the platform, now to web, and a code is giving me, and this code can be unlocked by by headquarters. So the human resource manager is very, very pivotal in all of these things. There are so many other things that we'll discuss during our class. You want to know all of them in one class. It looks like today we will not go to our lesson because of the questions. Is there any other worry that you want me to explain? Was that satisfactory?
Well understood. Thank you very much.
Great. So what is organizational change management? That's where we are now. Who can say something on that?
So I want to say that maybe I just want to try that organization change management could be a resource-oriented management.
Okay.
Where the workers at place are the priority.
Okay. It's a new subtopic that we are looking at, and it is there in your screen. You can't see the screen?
I can see the screen, sir.
I was expecting somebody to just read the slide, because the definition is out there very clear, and score 1 mark. Unfortunately, nobody was watching the screen, so that 1 mark flies. So somebody should read what is there.
Organizational change
refers to the actions in which. Okay. No, go ahead, Thelma.
Okay, in which a company or business alters a major component of its organization, such as its culture, the underlying technologies or infrastructure it uses to operate, or its internal processes.
Good. So it is clear now?
Yes, sir.
So OCM is a structured approach to what? Transitioning. This transitioning can be individuals, it can be team, and what? Organizations, from a current state to what? A desired future state. That is why we are saying that it refers to action which a company does what? Or business alters a major component of its organization, such as what? It can be culture, it can be technologies. For example, I've just used my organization that before now we used TomPro manual, then we went to web. But even before I got to my example, I've used 2004, where we didn't even have the softwares we have now. It was only Access and Excel that accountants used, for example. So when change came, that we could use other gadgets or other softwares, there was what an important thing to do, what to look at our technologies. Okay, I'm using my personal computer as we speak, and let me make you to laugh. I was in Ebola 2 weeks ago, and my organization offered me a new computer. That computer is a computer, in fact,
congratulations, sir. Congrats.
All right. Now, what happens is when they were installing the programs in the new computer, my permanent secretary, who is our biggest person in Yaoundé, before we have our minister, told me that I should throw this my computer. In fact, the computer that I'm using now, that I should throw it or I should give it to my kids. That it doesn't fit me because the technology in this computer and everything is obsolete. Can you laugh at me? That I'm using a very old, obsolete machine. So you can see. So organizations evaluate that, okay, what kind of processes, the level at which we have gone, the machines that we usually had. You remember that fat kind of computer that had a very long, a computer that you hit the button and it takes 2 hours to do what? To load. So when we find that work is deterred because of such technologies, organizations can do what? Can look at their technologies and change. Even infrastructure. Now, I am, do I say blessed or fortunate to be a legislator of my town where I am. And I'm looking at my town, and one day I was talking to the city mayor that what should we do with CDC? The town where I am, CDC used to have structures. They used to call them camps. Who knows that?
I do.
You do? You remember the camp toilets in CDC?
Yes.
Good. So take a town like Limbe, for example, and we have about 4 or 6 camps in the center of the town. Those buildings are obsolete. You know their toilets, right?
Yes.
A town like this should not have that kind of a toilet, where one toilet hosts about 300 persons.
True.
Good. So a company like CDC, for example, should review that and do what? Change some of the infrastructure. The infrastructure could be offices, could be homes, and so forth and so on. So that is what organizational change management is. When you do what? When you do an action in a company on a business that alters major components that have to do with what? Have to do with technology, infrastructure, and so forth and so on. Like I said, organizational change management can also, it is known as OCM. So you can transform individuals. For example, we just said that we may have very old people in an organization who are in a particular department of the organization. We use the accounting department, for example, and all of these people probably were simple accounts clerk that became accountants over time. And then we have people who have been trained, young people who have been trained and as accountants, and they have learned softwares. These old people cannot sometimes measure up themselves to these softwares because sometimes they cannot type in a computer. They don't even have the best of eyes to see the screens. So you may want to redeploy them to change, overhaul the entire department. So that is when change comes in, when you have to change, when a structure has to change some major or transform some major aspects of the organization. It can be individuals, it can be teams, it can be infrastructure, it can be what again? Technologies, like we have said before. And then we said it is from a current state to a desired future state. It involves planning, because you have to plan, underline. It also involves what? Implementing and also sustaining the change to achieve organizational goals and benefits. Question? Who is asking? Ayuk, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Move the slide. So we have causes of organizational change. Can somebody go through so that we know you are not sleeping?
Yes, causes
Yes, sir.
okay.
Madam Maureen, go ahead. It's okay.
All right. Causes of organizational change. We have a new leadership at the helm of the company or within its departments. And then 2, we have shifts in organizational team structure. 3, we have in the implementation of new technology. And 4, we have the adoption of new business models.
Okay, good. Let me add one. Strategic shifts, which is even very important. We may have changes in goals or mission or vision. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
An organization can change their goals. They can also change their what? Their mission. Or they can change what? Their vision. And it is a strategic shift. Let me give you a very good example of what is happening to CDC now. Now, CDC used to farm how many products? Who knows about CDC very well? It's the second largest employer of the
country after the state.
Of the country after the state. So,
so they used to have rubber. They used to have palm.
Good.
Banana.
Good. Tea. Not so.
Tea.
Those were the major crops, but they used to have coconut too. I'm sure you don't even know.
No, I don't know about coconut.
They used to have very small. They used to plant coconut somewhere around some of their offices or around some areas. A few, but usually not in a larger scale. They used to even plant pepper. It wasn't in a larger scale. So now, what do they want to do now? Currently, they want to go into cassava.
Okay.
So they are doing feasibility studies to go into cassava. What is that called in business management? One mark going.
Strategic change.
Not strategic, much more strategic. Part of strategic change because you have seen strategic shifts there. Is it
horizontal integration?
What?
Horizontal integration, sir.
Resulted?
Horizontal integration.
Integration, horizontal integration. Okay, let me add one. Now, after they thought that they will go into production of cassava, there is a high-level consultation that they should also go into transformation of some of their products. I said yesterday or 2 days before that they produce oil, for example, palm oil they sell to Mayor, who further produces what they call oilio. Is it oilio or what? Mayor, and also produces soap. Now they think that they can use their own oil to do what? To move into this production. And they think that they can use their palm kernel to produce what they call palm kernel oil, which we locally call manyanga. What is that called in business terms?
Product transformation.
Product transformation, okay. Who else? Have you ever heard the word innovation?
Yes, sir.
Where did you hear it?
I'm a marketer, so we do a lot of innovation.
Okay, so you didn't think that it is innovation?
It's still another term, say innovation is even the best term to use.
It's the best term, and then you just didn't use it to have your one mark.
Product innovation, say I've used it.
But you don't have the one mark. Sorry. So you see that a strategic shift may warrant a kind of an innovation. So when we do a strategic shift, we may change goals. May do what? We may change our mission. We may change our vision. We can innovate. That is why we may have to change. Now, imagine that CDC goes into cassava plantation or planting. Their workers, their expertise is towards what? Banana, palms, rubber, and so forth, and so on. But now they are taking a new product, meaning HR need to do what? To bring in new people who are experts in what? Cassava plantation, number one, or train and shift people who were planting rubber to now know how to do what? Plant cassava.
Cassava.
So it's a strategic shift. So it can also be leadership change or changes that we have talked about, where new leaders bring new perspectives. When new leaders bring new perspective, there is a strategy. Now, you know that in Rome Business School, we do a lot of case studies. Who has ever read about Carlos Ghosn with Toyota in Japan? Okay, assignment. Read Carlos Ghosn, Nissan, Toyota. Read his evolution and how he transformed that company. So when leadership changes, leadership may bring new perspective. They may even bring new people. In the case of Cameroon, it is even, our context is very funny, where when you appoint somebody in an office, the person brings all their country people, their family, and so forth and so on. That's why we go back home to celebrate. So you know that if they appoint me to an office, for example, the prime minister, you may have to change all the personnel most of the time, about 80 or 90% of the personnel. And most often, these people bring new perspective, they bring new ideas, and that impact on the culture and the goals of the organization. So this can drive a change. We also talk about growth or decline. When companies or organizations grow, they do what? There is an expansion, and so it needs what? Restructuring. Or when it declines, it needs what? Downsizing. For example, Sonara at one point in time did what they call, they redundant some workers, because they thought that probably they had many workers than they ought to have had. Sometimes you go to a company, you find so many people doing nothing. Like I said, I'm a legislator. I walk into where I legislate, let me say the Limbe City Council, for example, and I find 300 workers. Sometimes you find some women cracking egusi, they don't have anything to do, because they cried to a family member, Papa, I want work. They took them. They don't have anything to do, but there are any salaries. So a new manager may come and say, oh, what are these people doing? They are not productive. Let me remove them, because they are costing the company much.
More cost.
Yes, so you may want to remove them. So and then it can also be a decline. For example, now Limbe City Council, we moved from 11 million to 2 billion, 11 billion to 2 billion because of the crisis. Sonara is not paying their taxes, CDC is not paying their taxes because all of them are down. But still maintaining the same kind of workers or the same number of workers, the same salaries, the same what. And then you are expecting even to do an increment of salaries after every 2 years, for example, because for career growth, the employee must grow. A new manager may come and review all of those things and say, no, I'm downsizing because I don't have the funds to keep these people. So I will downsize. So you may also restructure. When you are expanding, for example, CDC moved to Boa before the crisis. Boa is somewhere around Dian, Dian somewhere behind the mountain there. So they went, opened new farms there and started planting. They wanted to go to Manfi before the crisis. I don't know how their project in Manfi ended. They even wanted to go to the east region. So because there, their crops will do well because of the forest area. So when you are expanding, you can do a restructuring. And like we said yesterday, is it yesterday that we talked about sending people to hard to reach area? You may want to change their salaries. You may want to give them a motivation in order for them to stay. That is all restructuring. And that will cause a change. It can be cultural values. We have talked about culture and the values which evolves in the organizational culture and values. And then it could be operational issues which have to do with inefficiencies, bottleneck processes, and so forth and so on. There are some people who may not be efficient. Like I said, if you are changing, say, technology in an old company that used to do manual, most of the time you have had people who have been working there since they were 25 in their ages, and they are now 50, soon going on retirement. They were manual, and now you say they should use computers when most of them, their eyes are bad, they cannot see the screen, they cannot type, they did not learn how to type. And so these can be inefficient, they can be inefficient, especially when you start introducing computer, somebody will be using one finger and typing, and so forth and so on. So inefficiency may come, it may be like I said, new things have come and they didn't learn those new things. You employ them since when they had first school living and train them on the job. And of course, things have evolved. They have not learned these technologies. So they will be inefficient in the work. It can be bottlenecks because somebody is sitting on some place and then the person may not want you to maybe break through. Like somebody gave the example of their manager yesterday. Of course, this can have bottlenecks. These bottlenecks can be processes, of course, and so forth and so on. This can cause change. Let's go to the next slide and take the next topic. We can also have external factors. We can have external factors. These external factors can be market trends. Market trends. Yes, keep this slide. Keep it on, yes. Please take notes. We can have external factors which have to do with market trends, shifting customer needs, for example, market conditions or industry trends. Technology advancement, we have talked much about that. New technology, digital transformations or innovations. Regulatory changes, compliance with new laws, for example. The finance law of the country changes like every year. The tax laws changes every year. So when these things change, the organizations too have to shift to these changes. Who is paying taxes here?
I am.
You are paying taxes.
Yes, sir.
Can you align what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I'm aligning with that. Good.
I remember one time, for those who have cars here, windscreen license used to be what? It used to be 25,000 if I'm not mistaken. And now the new law says whether it depends on your horsepower. Some people even pay 100,000 for windscreen licenses. Even 200,000 because of the finance law we changed. Okay, so it can be economic condition. We know about the downturns, the recession, or funding changes, and of course, like us who work with projects, the American president says that he's withdrawing his funding from WHO, for example. So it is affecting us. We have started withdrawing all our activities from the field because we can't fund those activities. So when we have economic changes, when we have recession, when we have funding changes or funding complications, we may have change. Those are all external factors. Competitive landscape, when the landscape becomes competitive, changes in competitors, partnership, or industry dynamics. We had a new company that came here in Limbe. The headquarters was here in Limbe, which was under the agro industry. They called them Hercules. Was it Hercules Farm? Heracles Farms.
Heracles. I remember.
Heracles Farm came, everybody almost ran to go and work in Heracles because their conditions, their salaries were better.
Very good.
And so you found people sometimes they ran from CDC to go to Heracles. Unfortunately, Heracles didn't survive. So when we have industry competition, a competitive landscape, we may have these change drivers. And other drivers can be globalization, expanding into new markets. For example, if you are moving your products to new markets, it may affect change. You may have a merger or acquisitions. This may affect change. For example, there are little companies that comes together. A good case is this insurance company they call Allianz and Salam. They have come together, and sometimes they may even change the name of the new company. So these changes I used to know of Faco Pharmacy here in Limbe. It was bought by some other person, and now it is Faco Atlantic. So when you have these takeovers or these mergers or these acquisitions, they may change the face of your structure, your culture, and so many other things. They may also be social and environmental pressures, like, of course, the crisis in Southwest and Northwest have changed a lot of things. People don't go to work on Mondays, for example, and so many companies have run away from the Southwest and they are closing. For example, Allianz company was an insurance company that ran away from Southwest and even from the Northwest. Foco have gone. I hear this other one that was in Church Street 2 is going. So these companies are closing because of sometimes because of crisis and so forth and so on. So types of organizational change. Do we have any question? Is somebody asking a question? People are sleeping. Can we stop?
No, sir, we are on.
I'm awake or we're not sleeping.
You are alone in class?
So we are on.
Yes, sir.
I'll be surprised that the teacher is still energetic.
No, we are on. We are on, sir.
So we'll talk about types. Who is seeing the screen?
I'm seeing the screen, sir.
Go ahead.
2 types of organization change.
Good.
You have adaptive changes and transformational changes.
Yes, adaptive.
Adaptive changes are small, incremental changes. Organizations adopt to address needs that evolve over time.
Great.
Transformational changes larger in scale, scope than adaptive changes. Transformational changes involve major shifts in mission, strategy, structure, performance, and processes.
So these are the major drivers. They can be what? Adaptive or what?
Transformational.
Okay. They can be adaptive or transformational. And we say that you should take note types of organizational changes. They can be adaptive or transformational. And there are many of them. Whether they are adaptive or they are transformational, they can be strategic. A strategic change is a shift in overall strategy. We have talked about mission or vision. And in the example of mergers and acquisitions or new market entry may cause us to have what? A strategic change. 2, we can also have a structural change. If it is a structural change, it will be a change in an organizational structure, roles, or responsibility. You know what an organizational structure is?
Yes, sir.
Simon, can you try?
Sir. Yes, sir. An organizational structure is just like the hierarchy in an organization, from the boss to the manager up to the lowest person in the organization.
Mm-hmm. So when we are downsizing, we can do what? We can touch on the structure. Where we are recruiting, we can touch on the structure. When we are reorganizing, we can also touch the structure. We can change processes, that is the third. And if we are changing processes, we will involve the business processes or workflows. Not so. An example is automation, lean management, quality improvements, and so forth and so on. So we can change our processes. We can also change our cultures. We have talked about organizational culture. So it can be a cultural change. This is a shift in our values or our behaviors. And an example is a cultural transformation where we can have diversity initiatives or leadership change. We can also change our technologies, so we can have a technological change. And here we can adopt new technologies or systems. Examples are digital transformation, like IT upgrades, software implementations, and so forth and so on. We can also change people. We can change people where we change personnel, like a case of downsizing or a case where a personnel is ineffective. We can change personnel go on retirement. We can change. We can have new people. We can also change people in their skills. For example, we may ask them to do what? Learn new skills, or support them to learn new skill. I just told you I learned a new software, and even in the software, I had to upgrade my knowledge when the software was upgraded. We can also change their performance. We can also do what? An example is training programs, talent acquisition, and of course, leadership development. Next slide, please. The importance of organizational change management. What are the importance of organizational change management? Somebody?
To help workers adapt.
For
Just read
improved
what you
success
said.
and performance.
Those things are written for you. You don't read. You cannot read them.
It reduces resistance.
I want to be sure all of us are there.
Organizational change is necessary for
Yes.
companies to succeed and grow. Change movement
So point
drives.
number 1, Simon.
Sir, I didn't understand the question, sir.
Do what?
Point number
Succeed and grow, not so?
Yes, sir.
Point number 2, Peggy.
Without effective organizational change management, company transitions can be unpredictable and expensive in terms of both time
Point
and
number
resources.
3, Elma.
A company's reaction and adaptation to change is also a critical consideration for key stakeholders like investors, suppliers, and prospective
Elma.
employees. I'm reading now.
Okay. Is Maureen in class?
Yes, I am, sir. I'm in class.
Okay, Maureen. Tell your colleagues to take note of this. Tell them that colleagues take note of this.
Colleagues, take note of this.
Good. Number 1, while OCM, organizational change management, matters, it reduces resistance, minimizes employee what? Pushback, and increases adoption. When we change, it reduces resistance and it minimizes employees' pushback. It also increases success rates, ensures change are implemented effectively, saves time and resources. It also boosts engagement and also enhances adaptability and also improves communication. Okay, Mr. Ayuk, can we move on? And then Thelma, continue. A
The manager's
manager's
role
role in organizational change.
organizational change.
So what are these roles?
Understanding the need
Change.
for change.
Yes. Peggy.
Creating a change management plan.
Good.
Leading the change process.
Good.
Monitoring progress and making adjustments.
And also to celebrate success. Whenever there is a change, we have to do what? If the change is effective, we need to celebrate what? This success, and do what? If we want to use the Lewis model, we do what?
You unfreeze change.
So I didn't get your question.
You refreeze.
You
Freeze.
You refreeze. Who is that?
Peggy.
Peggy, you have +1.
Thank you, sir.
So this is a manager's role, not so, in the change process. And it is very important. The managers need to understand the need for the change, because he's the driver of the change, and also have to create a change management plan and move into leading the change process. Of course, we have talked about this over and over, that we have to monitor the progress and make adjustments where necessary. And we also said that when we have a change and it is successful, we should hold on to it before we move ahead. And that is why we said we should celebrate these little gains, these little successes. And how do we do that? We refreeze whatever change we have made. We consolidate it. We sustain it. When we refreeze, before we can move forward. And when there is an unfreezing, we come back to do what? We come back to understand another need for change. We come back to do what? Creating another plan, leading the new change process, and continue making adjustments and continue monitoring. So that is a manager's role, the HR manager's role in the change process. Slide. So what skills should we have, or should we need? We need effective communication, including actively listening to your team and colleagues. You know, let me give you, I have a book. I'm sure that book is still there. And one of the topics of that book is listening, the capacity for us to listen. A manager or a good communicator should also be a very good listener. You know, in our context, we don't know how to listen. You know, when we are conversing in a roundtable discussion, before you know it, somebody is saying that, I'm not cutting you short, I'm not cutting you short, but the person is cutting you short. They're saying that, let me even cut you short. You have not even made your point, but he's cutting you. Listen. We don't listen. A good communicator should be able to listen to the team and the colleagues. You make sense of what they are saying and their contribution that they have brought on the table. And then the manager should highly develop a very high level emotional intelligence and strong organizational skills. A manager should pay attention to details and should also have a high level of problem solving and decision making skills. Delegating without what? Micro managing. Slide. Managing organizational change is an essential part of leadership as a manager. So it is important to understand the need for change, create a change management plan, lead the change process, monitor the progress, and celebrate success. By doing so, managers can effectively guide their team through the change process and create a positive organizational culture. I rest my case in all aspects concerning what? What have we been talking about? Organizational culture and change management. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have finished this topic, this very big topic.
So
we should have, I will drop the assignments, which is part of our exams. We dropped one yesterday. I will drop the other one immediately we finish the class. So I'll give you 1 week to do so. to do the exams or the assignment, the entire class will have to do it. That's why I said we should create a forum, because in the main forum where we are, there are other lecturers who are not human resource people, and there are other people in the forum. It's like a general forum. So the HR people, I asked you to create a forum and make sure that everybody who is attending this course should be in that forum so that they participate in the assignment.
But I did not see the first assignment yesterday.
You have colleagues who give you, it is in the slides. It's in the slide.
So
I'm
even
sure
the sorry.
Ayuk
for
should
the
be
group,
able to.
I don't know how many people are supposed to be in each group,
I'm not getting you.
or how many groups I'm supposed to create for.
We have
Group
a
ourselves. I don't
human
know
resource management class. Sometimes people ask some kind of questions which are very, very, in fact, they are funny. You don't know which group are. There is a general group, and
how
I
many
said that they should create a
groups
human
for the
resource
assignment.
management forum. And the quorum has been created. Just ask your colleagues to put you into the forum, and they sent a link to the major forum today. So you just have to go to the link and you're admitted into the forum. It's as simple as that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the grouping for the assignment. You said that we should group ourselves and then
No,
look
I
for.
said that entire class should do the assignment. The entire class will be graded on the assignment. So you should, in short, the entire class is one group. Everybody should participate in the assignment. And the day of the presentation of the assignment, everybody will have a part to present in the assignment.
Just I didn't see the last assignment, the one that was given last during the last class. I've not seen it.
I said that the assignment is in the slides I shared. What Ayuk is sharing now. Ayuk, can you just go some few slides back? Before change management, before we ended. Yes, this is it. We took option A. I said you should choose a case study of your choice. That is what I said yesterday, right? Look at option A. That was the assignment. A case study here means a company of your choice. Identify the cultural issues and recommend innovations. What else do you want me to say? I should say it in my dialect.
So I have a question,
Something like
sir.
Pardon?
So I have a question, sir.
Go ahead.
So concerning the second to the last slide, you said the qualities of a good manager would be, one of them would be developing emotional.
Are we talking about assignment now? Are we clear about assignment? I thought that you were asking a question on this assignment.
No, sir. I already had your understanding of the assignment.
Are we clear about this assignment?
Yes, sir.
We are doing only option A of the assignment. I said you should choose a company of your own. You can choose one of your companies where you are working. I don't know which one. Any company, identify cultural issues in that company and make recommendations. I'm going to drop a second one now. Yes, you can go to, if everybody is okay with that assignment, we can go to your questions.
Okay, I was asking.
Go to the slides we are talking about.
Concerning this point on a highly developed level of emotional intelligence, I wanted to find out from you, sir, how do we improve on this emotional intelligence aspect? Because from my understanding, it's one of the qualities which demands that we, like you rightly said, we listen actively. But then we are in a context where a lot of times it's like people hardly listen. In fact, we all hardly listen. Most of us hardly listen. So driving across a point sometimes is really a challenge. Keeping your calm and trying to explain things to people sometimes to the better understanding sometimes is not the easier way. Sometimes if we don't scream, we don't really use some kind of very harsh terms, the communication doesn't pass. So I wanted to just find out, how does one really sustain a highly developed level of emotional intelligence in a culture like ours?
Okay. Can someone try? I think that Maureen should be able to answer this question. I don't know why I feel that she can answer
I didn't get the question. I was trying to write down the assignment.
Okay, go to. Are you seeing the slide?
I'm seeing the slide.
Go to point 2. Have you seen point 2? The managers or leaders should do
Highly
what?
developed level of emotional. Highly
Should
developed
develop emotional.
level of emotional intelligence.
So Simon is asking. Was it Simon asking?
No, sir, not me. I think
It's
Mr. Ayuk.
Ayuk.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Ayuk asked
Ayuk.
that how do we develop that?
For me, when I talk about emotional intelligence here, I'm looking at a manager that is able to blend personal life and work life. Meaning that at the level of the home, family,
Okay.
whatsoever, the stress is there. At the level of the work, the stress is there. Now, how does it blend the two so that it does not affect his work and output at the level of the job site? Now,
Okay.
what should that manager do at that point in time? I think he's supposed to do a proper planning of him of the task he has, and he should be able to solve family problems. Make sure that he does not carry it. That's a family problem should stay at home. The family problem should not follow him to his job site, because if it does, it's going to affect his input and output at the same time at the level of the job site. So emotional intelligence here, I'm looking at his personal life and his career at the same time, how he manages it too, and make sure that most importantly that it does not affect the job you're doing.
Okay.
Well, let me try.
How many marks did you have?
I don't know, sir.
Maureen had a +2 since. So since she is struggling with emotional intelligence, let us intelligently give her 0.5. So now you have 2.5.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Who else?
Me, I want to try.
Go ahead.
So I think emotional intelligence is something that we need at every level, not just in companies, even in our personal lives, in our personal relationships. Because when you're emotionally intelligent, it helps you in a lot of areas. So first of all, you need to be self-aware. For example, you need to know how you're feeling at a particular moment. Understand your mood, and also the second point, self-control. Once you're self-aware and you understand your mood, you can then know how to control yourself. Like, don't react quickly to things. Take a deep breath. Try to reason things before you speak, and also think carefully, critically before you respond to people. And also maybe just build motivation. How do you do that? Because I do it all the time. When I'm going through something and I'm like, okay, how can I motivate myself to help me overcome that challenge? So I try to set goals that maybe by the end of next year, I'm going to achieve this, and that. And that helps me a lot all the time. And the last point I want to say is to develop empathy. Someone who's emotionally intelligent tries to understand where others are coming from. Like, they put themselves in other people's shoes and try to be empathetic in every given opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Excellent. I thought that you would clap for this young man. So you have +2. That was
Wow,
that
thank
was
you,
who
sir.
again?
Simon,
Simon.
sir. Yes, sir.
Good. +2. Excellent. I wanted people to clap for you. Who is clapping for him? Who is jealous?
I'm clapping for him. I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
So I just want to add a few things to what Simon said. He's talked about self-awareness. I want to say that with self-awareness, you need to recognize where your emotions may impact productivity or impact on other employees. You need to always be self-awareness. If I use the Holy Bible, for example, for those who are Christians, when it talks about in Galatians 5 from verse 16, that talks about the works of the flesh. In verse 22, Paul writes and says, for the fruits of the Spirit, when he talked about the fruits of the Spirit, he talks about self-control. Underline one of the fruits they call self-control. A good manager should be able to control, to be aware of himself, especially aspects of his emotions that have to probably play negatively on productivity or his employee. That is what I wanted to add. And he talked about motivation, which I also want to add, that you should be motivated such that he leverages your emotions to drive motivation or the motivations and the goals of the company. Meaning that building emotional intelligence, you should leverage emotions to drive motivation and goals. Your emotions should be such that you are driving your employee to what? To be motivated in order for them to perform the goal or the rules, the objectives of the company. And then for empathy, I don't have anything to add there, but I want to add a fifth, which is social skills. Somebody who develops emotional intelligence develops social skills, and this build on effective relationships and communication. You cannot be a good manager without having a very good relationship with your employees. Sometimes you even need to know your employees, their needs. You need to know their family back home, what is wrong with them. Sometimes they have private life. Yes, it is private life. But when this private life is impacting on productivity, you need to know. You need to know at least a few things. A human resource manager becomes a counselor. You manage, when they say you manage human resource, it means that you manage the people even in their homes. You manage their emotions and so forth. So you who is managing their emotions, you managing human, that's why they call managing human resource. Managing human resource. So you manage their emotions. You need to go into them. Their psychology, you need to go, you move into. So the human resource manager is not somebody who comes there, come and sign some papers and go and sit beside a bar and be drinking without you knowing the life of your people. You must know, because this life can impact. For example, somebody may come late because he has an issue probably in their homes. Probably the husband have refused her from coming to work early. You may want to know. You may not go into intervening because somebody said between man and woman, up there, but you can advise. You can advise gradually, and you find that you have gained that worker. So practical tips. The practical tips is you should be mindfulness, increase self-awareness through meditations or reflections, seek feedback, ask for input on your team, of course, develop active listening, focus on understanding others' perspective, listen to others. Some managers don't want to listen to anybody because, of course, they are managers. So anybody who comes immediately open your mouth, They close you up. They don't want to see you. You are a cleaner. You are this. Listen to everybody. A driver in a company may change so many things in that company you don't know. In my setting, the drivers know everybody. They know all their stories. If you want to have a very good grapevine afternoon, go to the drivers. They will tell you everything that's happening to in my organization. They know everything. Sometimes it may be a lie. They don't know much about the people, but they know a little bit of everything about this thing. So you listen to everybody who is involved. Of course, you label emotions, acknowledge and name your emotions. For example, if you were angry, be able to know that you went angry probably wrongly or rightly, or you went overboard. For example, I just read from a group, somebody went emotional in one of our groups and accused somebody, and the person was issuing a kind of disclaimer and an apology today, and everybody was putting thumbs up because the person recognized that he went overboard. So it is good for you to, and then of course, practice with practice what? The word is assertiveness. Assertiveness means you communicate effectively and what? And respectfully. You communicate effectively and respectfully. How do you do this? You are a manager in a company or in a department, and there are people who are senior in that department who have worked, who have experience more than you. For example, somebody has worked for 20 years, you were appointed manager and experience is just 5 years. You should be able to respect those people, respect age, respect even gender, respect even disabled people. So you should be able to communicate effectively. Don't say things like, use this short money. You talk plenty now because you're short. When you say things like this, you have done what? You have. What have you done? I want a managerial term. What we call systemic or what? Say systemic or what? Is some sort of discrimination. Such discrimination may be systemic. They may also be what? Maureen.
Yes, sir.
Can be indirect.
Yes, sir.
Not so?
Yes, sir.
What is indirect discrimination?
Like the word indirect says.
There are policies or practices that what? Disproportionately affect a group of persons. Sometimes it may not be what? You may not mean it.
And my network is bad. My network is dealing with me.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So when you indirectly discriminate on people, you affect them, and your emotional intelligence should tell you that you should not discriminate on people. So that's about what you asked. I don't know whether you have other inputs.
The voice is cracking.
Me? Am I okay now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you clearly.
Good. So we have touched on on emotional intelligence?
The network is messing up.
Your own or my own? Okay, so we are ending the class now. I'm sure we have gone through this lesson. I'm going to drop some assignments in the chat group so that we can follow up with the assignments, like I said before. Just hold on a while. Let me read through something for you to take down. You should take down this assignment. Very important assignments. Just copy them down. Is everyone there with a pen?
My network is dealing with me.
Okay, your friends will communicate to you the assignment we must have given you. We already said that you are talking about motivation. You will talk about motivation, you and who? Choose somebody.
I don't know who I'm going to choose. So
choose anybody.
Okay, Prof, I've heard you.
You have chosen somebody.
I'm not yet choosing the person. I tell you with Thelma.
Okay, so you do motivation with Thelma. So I am writing down motivation.
What are we supposed to do about the motivation? It's about the case study.
Motivation. You would prepare it in a PowerPoint. You talk about the whole subject of motivation. You prepare a PowerPoint and send to me, and also prepare a write-up on motivation. Write-up on motivation in PowerPoint on motivation, sent to me, or drop in our chat group that was created. So it is Maureen.
Write-up on motivation and what again?
You do a PowerPoint after the write-up.
PowerPoint.
So it is Maureen and Thelma who will talk about motivation, and then we have leadership. Who is taking leadership? Ayuk. Ayuk will work with who? Ayuk, you are working with who?
So I don't know, you can choose, sir.
Okay, so you choose your partner. Organizational structure and organizational culture. Who? So structure. Who work on structure? Organizational culture, structure and culture.
For me, Simon.
Simon,
Yes,
you choose
sir.
somebody.
Madam Ruth.
So Simon and Ruth. Simon and Ruth work on organizational culture, structure, sorry, and culture. And then who else is left? Who is left? Excuse me. The management of international organizational behavior. Management of international organizational behavior. Who is taking that one? Thelma, have you taken something?
Yes, I've taken motivation with Madam Mori.
Ruth, have you taken something?
Yes, I'm with Simon on organizational culture.
Who did I not see? Nathan. Okay, it's Ayuk. I've given Ayuk something. Who did I see here? People are running away. Peggy. Peggy. Peggy, are you who?
So you're yet to assign me.
Okay, you take the last one that I just read. So Peggy. What did I say that you would do?
Present on the management of international organizational behaviors.
Good. Excellent. So who will be prepared tomorrow? Which group is prepared tomorrow? When should we have a class again? If we miss tomorrow, we can only have another class on Monday.
The Monday is fine. It's going to give us ample time to do our work.
Okay, so we meet on Monday. We shall have 2 presentations on Monday. Monday, 7 p.m. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you're not being specific. So you're just going to openly call any group to present.
Yes. Everybody should be ready by Monday.
So on Monday, I want to be available at that time, sir. I have a meeting at the job site.
Okay. Take permission from the meeting.
So it's compulsory.
7 p.m.
It's compulsory.
Meeting at 7 p.m.
That is what this training does to you. If you are going to University of Where, will you tell the University of Where that you have a meeting so you will know that exam? So we have a class on Monday, 7 p.m. And was that Ayo talking?
Yes, sir, I was the one.
Unfortunately, you have to take because you are the master, what they call it? You are the master projector. So it is one of two things. It's either you are there or you are there. You are doomed.
We can change the time to just make it comfortable for him. I don't know, the weekend or tomorrow. I don't know.
No, weekends are dicey. First of all, I want to let you go and enjoy your Lovers' Day, which is Saturday. I know that all of you are loving, so you go and love on Saturday. So no class on Saturday. Sunday, I'm taking a rest.
So how about Tuesday?
No, Tuesday is too far. Tuesday is too far. We must have a class on Monday. I pushed it to 7. We could have it at 6, from 6.
The challenge I have is that my meeting begins from 5 and ends at 9.
At your workplace?
Yes, sir.
So if you begin from 5, end at 7, tell them that you will end your own at 7.
So that means I'll receive a letter which I need to justify.
Yeah, you have to look for a way. That's how these things are. There's somebody called Gapsa. I just saw you now. You Nicodemously enter the class or how? I've never seen this name before. Gapsa. Gapsa.
Well, it seems like the person has already left the class.
The person has left.
Yes, sir.
Was
So
he a spy?
It's like the person's network
Oh, so
is
you have been in
shaky,
the class
but the
the whole
classes
time.
was there even last class. Even that person was there.
There is not talking.
It's like the person has network issues.
I don't kill our question next time. Okay. So we are ending the class today. Conduct of the class: one person, one man, one woman.
Okay, sir. I think I will begin. Once more, thank you, sir, for the great effort you're putting in to make sure we are getting this knowledge. I really do not take it lightly, and I greatly appreciate it personally, because indeed I'm learning so much, given the interactiveness of the class, given the practicability of the knowledge we are receiving. It's really, really timely, and for me, it's a great honor to be part of this cohort. I think as if my only plea would be that maybe if there could be like a course outline which you could maybe send to us, it would have been good, so that it helps us always try to prepare upfront class. That means like a course outline which covers the entire program for the semester. That would be my only plea, sir.
I will do
Thank you so
so.
much.
I will do so. In fact, everything that I've read today is the entire course outline, sorry. Those assignments that I've given you, I will work on a certain part, which I think that is a little bit heavy for you, but I will send you the cost outline. Thank you.
All right.
I
Thank
would
you so
like
much,
to
sir.
hear from Peggy.
Sir, good evening once more. Good evening, classmates. The lectures of today were very mind-opening. I would say this program is really helping us to dissect a lot of challenges that we're facing at our various places of work. And I'm learning a lot. I really did not see, or I really could not believe that within the twinkle of an eye, I'll be learning so many things that I've been craving for in years past. So I'm grateful, and I want to believe that this will go a long way to help me to be more professional with my work. And also, I'm learning new skills of handling challenges and how to approach life, not only at the place of work, but also with socials and what have you.
Thank you. Who had to pay more money for Tabe University yesterday?
Maureen.
It's Maureen who had to pay more money. So today it's Peggy that has to pay a little more money for Tabe. Okay, I'll ask the school to take note of that these two girls have to pay some little money in addition to what they have paid. Thank you very much for attending the class. In fact, this is one of the best class I have taught before in my 5 years of teaching here.
Oh, yay.
Because of the interactiveness, because of the openness, and because of the number. The number too is very impressive. When we have this kind of number, the class is much more sweet. and also the fact that you always attend the class. So please stay focused in the class and take these notes, very important, because we need to change our society. Take also all the notes and all the lectures that other lecturers are giving to you. I bet you it will change you. And of course, these assignments that I've given you, one thing that we learn from phonics is the ability for us to express ourselves by the presentations and case studies we make. Don't forget that in every of the assignments that I've given you, please include a case study. Make sure that in your assignment, there is a case study reference so that our presentation should be lively and practical. Thank you very much. We'll meet again on Monday at 7 p.m. We regret that Mr. Ayok will struggle to meet us, but that is one aspect of human resource management that we need to also learn. So we have to manage the situation as it is. So please go through your assignments and the lectures I have given, and we'll meet. Also, today was a little bit harsh, of course, because we shouted at some point. It is important and necessary because it is a class and students are students, and this teacher is a teacher. We also have people who had some additional marks. We have Simon that moved from 5 to 3 and moved from 3 to 4 and had 2 additional marks. So at the end of the day, Simon had 6 marks in addition. Thelma had +4. Maureen had +2.5. I'll round it to 3. Peggy had +1. Ruth has -1, -1, which means that's -2. Ayuk had +1. Peggy has +1. Are we sincere enough?
So the grading is fair enough.
Hey, Maureen will
Please,
never
have
say
mercy on Ruth.
We should have mercy
Please,
on
sir.
Ruth.
On Ruth.
Yes.
On Ruth.
Okay, we should have mercy on Ruth.
Yes, sir.
Does the class accept?
Just a
Let's
beginner.
let Simon.
Yes, sir.
Let Simon share with Ruth.
Who?
Simon should share with Ruth.
Thank you, my sister.
Teamwork.
The class,
Thank you, my
the
sister.
class has accepted that we should forgive Ruth. So Ruth has 0. So we
God
cancel
bless
all the
you.
minuses. So you have
Thank
now
God.
0. Okay, thank you very much for being there for the class. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Right.